In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
In many ways, and for each case, I feel that my project develops and challenges conventions of an actual media product. Firstly, the title of my film is the most obvious convention of film which does not challenge the thriller genre. Underwater Ballet is the name that I chose for my film, as it illustrates the main subject without giving away too much of the plot. A lot like the film Black Swan. Also, I feel that the effects that I have used for my text do not challenge any conventions because the blur is a very common effect which is used in the thriller film industry. However, the style of font that I have used I find challenges the conventions, clue to the sophistication it brings to my media product, as it is subtle but still enough to gain the audience's attention, which I need for my start of my film opening sequence. Locations are a very big part in making a successful film. And I feel my main location was successful for creating that eerie atmosphere due to the lighting which I used, which created the feel of emptiness and eerie feel, also by signifying death with the light just coming behind her, which kind of signified just the one light towards kind of heaven that we kind of think. And also, the reason for choosing the art centre was that I thought it would be appropriate for my choice of dancing, which came with the professional lighting, so it was kind of helped me. The special effects which I used whilst making my media product is the reason why it was borderline between two genres, which are thriller and drama. This is due to the underwater scene that I included, which was overlapped
with a mast layer and also a ramp to cut out as much of the swimming pool as I could possible.
Of filming underwater in St Catherine's Woods, and also the underwater filming I did in Langford Pool. This was done on a software called After Effects. Then this gave like the message of a thriller of a dead body in the stream. Also, the fading white screen when the scene is cut almost portrays the sign that there will be a flashback as how the murder occurred. The way that a film is edited is what defines it, if it's well made or not. And because my film is a thriller, during the start of my research at the start of the year, I looked at how films such as Inception were made and edited. From this I found a technique which I thought worked well with my introduction of my film.
How does your media product represent particular social groups?
In order to evaluate how social groups were represented in my media product, I compared the female character to other similar character roles in other films with the same genre, and my main female part is similar to the role of Nina Sayers in Black Swans, due to the terms of her character being around the same age. And therefore my film opening sequence would attract the similar kind of audience that Black Swan did. The similar traits of ballet and commitment, which are shown in her rehearsing of her dance, are other factors as to why these two characters are quite similar. And a lot of teen girls do ballets, partly because it's quite a feminine kind of dance. And however, my actress differs from the role of Susie Salmon from Lovely Bones, because the age is slightly different, but although the similarity of her being female, that illustrates that the age and the kind of gender kind of have a lot to contribute and quite important to the role of the character.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media products and why?
My film being a thriller drama genre is a film that would be distributed by a production company which would make films similar to that of my genre. For example, Warner Bros. Pictures, which is the kind of company that makes kind of my genre, made the film Inception. They represented the film Inception, and also the production company Universal, which produced the film Black Swan in 2010. But out of those films I have spoken about, I feel that Universal would be a good production company to produce my film.
I need sunshine, I need angels, I need...
Who would be the audience for your media product?
Here is someone I think would be like my target audience for my film opening sequence. Tell me a bit about yourself. What's your name?
My name's Courtney. I'm 16.
What's your hobbies?
I like Zumba and playing badminton.
What type of music are you into and do you like?
I like mainly rap and Nicki Minaj and Rihanna.
Nice. When you go shopping in town, like what type of shops do you go into and what kind of things would you buy?
Mainly Topshop and Boysons and stuff like makeup and clothes.
Yeah.
Generally.
Oh, nice. What do you expect to see when you see a thriller movie, and also like do you feel like my film opening sequence holds those aspects?
I expect to be scared when,
Yeah.
obviously because of the
thriller genre.
yeah, and like sort of like there's a mystery, isn't there? Like sort of mystery time. And I think in your opening piece, the effects that you've used really make you feel like you're seeing the girl's last moments. And yeah,
Thanks. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks.
How did you attract or address your audience?
In order to attract my audience, I used YouTube annotations, which highlighted the way in which my film opening linked with other films. With the thriller genre, my annotations referred to similar genre conventions used by music, similarities with other movies, and what I have identified as the unique selling point of my film introduction. As I wanted to attract similar audience to that of Black Swan and other films of this genre, I followed the typical conventions that made these typical films. Successful, such as my ballerina being killed by a serial killer and thrown in a stream. It's quite dark, as well as this music became a big factor in my film introduction, which helped to attract my audience.
What have you learnt about the technologies from the process of constructing this product?
During my series of this project, I have used Final Cut, Soundtrack Pro, Compressor and After Effects in order to help me edit and create my film, input and create sound effects and make special effects which I needed to include in my film opening sequence, such as the part where there's a mask layer on top of Melissa, which is my actress, in the pool footage, and also the footage from the stream which I filmed in St Catherine's Woods. I use After Effects to do this to help that. In order to film my film introduction, I used a Canon 7D. This was really helpful because the quality of the footage made my opening sequence look well presented. It also allowed me to change my aperture when I was filming in the art centre, as it was quite dark, so I had to change it to let more light in, and the depth of field also made it quite interesting as well. But the lens I used was the 18 to 55mm, which gave my film a good wide view, and I was able to shoot selective angles with this lens, which was very helpful. I also used the GoPro, which was really helpful to shoot all my underwater scenes, and because that gives me a good wide view of everywhere when I wanted to film. And it was really good quality as well.
Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product?
Looking back at my preliminary task, I found it difficult to compare the narrative because my film doesn't really include any diegetic part between two specific characters. However, because I would like to keep up the whole eerie feel to it by making it quite alone and emptiness. However, I feel that my filming and editing skills have definitely improved in the sense that I find problems or something I would like to change I can now do this way by editing it. And although I edited my preliminary task in Final Cut, my final project also differs from my preliminary task, which the use of After Effects, which development developed my film a lot, because I was capable of making layers on top of layers, and like changing the composition mode to being like adding it and making it lighter, which is what I learned through the editing phase of my project. Now I feel a lot more confident with the software which I'm using, and I find that it comes out in a much better quality.